Start game now.
The Barry Sanders card is here today because we're going to look at a football game, and that football game is Tecmo Super Bowl for the Super Nintendo. A former rental, this game has seen better days, and we got a Dallas Cowboy who looks like he's really upset. Don't know what of, but let's go ahead and take Tecmo Super Bowl, pop it into my Super Nintendo, and find out how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Tecmo Super Bowl for the Super Nintendo was published by Tecmo and carries a copyright year of 1993. It is a follow-up to the 1991 NES version of the game. Tecmo Super Bowl is a football game for 1 or 2 players. According to the back of the box, some of the key features include having all 28 NFL teams from that era and their players, the ability to play 3 years of 18-game scheduled seasons, games that can be affected by rain or snow, player substitutions, weekly standings, speech and updated music, new cinema scenes, team and player stats saved and ranked, Pro Bowl, and coach modes where you call the plays. In the game, you can play a preseason game, regular season game, or a Pro Bowl game. When playing a season, you can select which team are computer controlled and which are controlled by a player, including having coach mode. This means that several players can team up for a season, or that one player can control multiple teams if they desire. Each team has a set roster. You can't switch players to different teams, but you can change your starters with bench players, although the stats are usually worse. However, sometimes you will have injuries on your team and you will be forced to switch out players until the injured player returns. When playing, each team has 8 offensive plays to choose from, but you can swap out plays with plays from a larger playbook if you desire. Both offense and defense use the same screen to call plays, with the defense trying to guess which of the 8 plays the offense is calling. If the defense guesses correctly, the players will blitz the player with the ball. This can backfire, however, especially if the QB throws the ball before getting sacked. This most often happens in the shotgun formations. If you are very close to a first down, you can also try a dive play by hitting the X button. On offense, you press A to snap the ball. If it's a running play, you will automatically hand or toss the ball to your running back. If it's a passing play, you can press A to scroll through the receivers and B to throw the ball. However, be advised that receivers can run off screen out of sight. On defense, once the game clock is shown at the top of the screen, you can press A to scroll down through the players or B to scroll up. But once the ball is snapped, you are stuck with the player you are on for the rest of that play. When 2 players are engaged with each other, whether on offense or defense, you can rapidly press the A button to knock down the opposing player. Pressing the B button on defense will also have your player dive to the offensive player with the ball if you are close enough and not already engaged with another player. As a matter of fact, if you're quick enough, you can quickly angle your nose tackle down at the snap and quickly press B to slide and possibly sack the quarterback. You can also press Y during play calling to bring up a menu screen where you can call timeouts, switch players, and edit your playbook if you're on the offense. If you score a touchdown, you must kick an extra point as there were no 2-point conversions yet. When kicking a field goal or extra point, you press A to snap and A again to kick when the arrow is aimed where you want. On kickoffs and punts, you can press the A button when the strength meter is where you want it and the D-pad to aim your kick. Graphically speaking, I like the almost cartoony character sprites, and I thought the game was very colorful. Throughout the game, you also see neat cutscenes after certain events. However, you won't see team logos, just the team colors. Music and sounds are also very nice, and I really like the background music that played throughout the game. And yeah, of course, this is a family-friendly game. On eBay, loose copies typically go for about $10 to $13. Complete copies were going for about $25 to $30, and new copies were selling between $50 and $75, and as always, those prices include the shipping. So what did I think of Tecmo Super Bowl? Well, I thought it was a ton of fun. It has a lot of charm, and I really like the arcade style. I think the Super Nintendo handles this type of game very well. Now, there were some things I didn't like. For instance, playing as my Detroit Lions, Barry Sanders got injured in 3 out of 7 games, which seems really high to me. And one time playing, I threw an interception that somehow froze my game and ended up erasing my season about 8 games into it. But nonetheless, I still enjoyed playing, even as a shorthanded team and after losing my save file. So where am I going to rank Tecmo Super Bowl? Well, I really like this game a lot. and so far it's my favorite sports game that I've ever played on Super Nintendo. And the only other game I've reviewed on the show on the Super Nintendo is Yoshi's Island, which I find to be overrated, so I'm going to make Tecmo Super Bowl my new number 1 game and Yoshi's Island my number 2 ranked game. Tecmo Super Bowl is a fun football game on your Super Nintendo. If you enjoy the Super Nintendo, check out the SNES podcast. I will be joining them in discussion on the Tecmo Super Bowl series in an episode scheduled to be posted in August of 2015. If you enjoy retro-related videos, would you please click the like and subscribe buttons? You can also support me on Patreon as well. And be sure to check out some of my many other videos covering Atari, Sega, Nintendo, and more. With over 175 now posted, there's something for just about everybody. Thank you guys for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of the No Swear Gamer. Take care, and if you happen to be Barry Sanders, please take care of your health, okay? See you later.